Hi Chelsea fans, it's yet another video for you on my channel, and yes, this is Mugumisa Talks Chelsea. Now for many, my recent video has had quite some feedback as far as, are you sure what you are saying right now? One other person came out and told me, I have never known you to be someone that closes the door on managers so early, and a couple of others who thought, maybe it was a joke or something like that. No, it is not. And yes, I am still trying to come to terms with my new stand on this particular situation, especially because I've never been one, and yes, that was right, to be against a manager that is in charge of Chelsea Football Club. In case you missed that video, I'm going to put the link right here, but I'm also going to put it in the description below. You can get to watch it either now or a little bit later after you've watched this particular one. But yes, in this particular video, I'm going to take you through my decision, but very importantly, also get to look at a comment that came in on the last video that we could have probably argued that it was my view now, and I just want to keep expounding on that particular one. So yes, we are here for yet another conversation on Chelsea Football Club, and let's get straight into it now. All right, now thank you so much for still keeping it with me right here. Let's get into it. Now, it's a big decision for me, and it is a decision because, again, I have been one that has kept telling Chelsea fans that, hey, we need to go through a project. It will be tough, it will be hard, but we need to go through something like this and, get to build the Chelsea that we want. And then suddenly I feel like, it feels for many like I just abandoned that ship. No, I've not abandoned that ship. That is the first clarification I want to make. I am still for the project. I am still for building an identity for Chelsea Football Club and all those kinds of things. But I have just come to the realization that the man that we have in charge is probably not the one for it, because in as much as he showed us signs that it was getting better, he was the guy for the job and all of those kinds of things. We've continuously had the same issues, in my opinion, so much so that now you start to wonder, what is this hope that I'm holding on for, and all those kinds of things. First and foremost, what are the values, what are the beliefs around this? The values are that I would love a club that has systems around it, how things get to go. I would love for Chelsea to be at a point where we sit down and say, hey, this is what we believe in. This is who we are. I would love that kind of Chelsea. So is the job still there? Yes, the job is still there to be done. I just really feel that this is the wrong man for that particular job. And why do I say that? When I look at the tactics that he keeps putting out there, these are tactics that are about how he plays football and not exactly about how flexible and where can he compromise and all of that, how far he can go as far as that is concerned, to take in the challenge that we have. It makes absolutely no sense for me to still sit here and say, when Pochettino plays football, the left back has got to have this, the right back has got to have this. If the right back doesn't have it, the left back should have it. If the left back doesn't have it, the right back should have it, and we switch that way. And I feel like it is either his way or no other way, and for as long as players are injured and not available or suspended, we have to suffer that wrath. I am not so sure I am ready for that. I would love a manager who says, you know what, because I have a very attacking right wing back in Gusto available, but also the best left back at the club available right now is Ian Madsen and not Levi Colwill. This is how we can adjust to be able to accommodate the both of them. I would want to hear things such as, well, today we will not have a lot of Caicedo going forward because we need to protect one of the wings, and that is because we have this and that. But if we keep insisting on Colwill playing as a left back, even when it is not his best position, we've seen his best games have not been as a left back. Buddy Ashil is off form, but now we have to live with him because, hey, Colwill has to continue playing left back, and all these kinds of things. At what what point do we get a manager who says, who works with the pieces that we do have, especially in the model that we are running? He is not in charge of transfers. He's not about to make a decision on who we get to sign. So what gives him the confidence that he has to play a certain way consistently and get the players that fit into how he wants to play? At what point does this get to make sense? I'm not so sure that is going to be something that we are going to deal with. So his adaptability to this is not something that I am confident in anymore, and that's why I'm changing my view. Again, another question is, am I open to change? I think I am open to change. Again, just because I have a belief that, hey, it's a project, it's Mauricio Pochettino we've gotten to have, is the one I backed and all of those kinds of things, doesn't mean that I can never change my mind if something that I believed in when I believed in him changes. First and foremost, again, believing in him is something that came from the fact that, hey, Chelsea are going to hire this person. And then you go backwards and say, okay, what has this guy done in the past? And you're thinking, okay, cool, this could be something that works for Chelsea. And then you get to bring him on board. And then it just doesn't work. It just doesn't seem to be the thing that we really need for this particular club. I think there will be managers out there, maybe in a job, maybe not in a job, out there that just might be able to deal with the situation we currently are in better. Yes, I do understand it takes time and all of those kinds of things, but if we did better at the beginning of the season, when, by the way, we still had so many players out, many of whom are still out because they keep coming back and going out again, and now we are playing worse than we did at the start, at what point do you draw the line? Chelsea friends, it is also upon us to be able to hold the standards of this club. It's not just the leadership of this club and all of those kinds of things. And in as much as we might compromise on them for the process, it doesn't mean that the club needs to die just because, oh, we made a commitment before and we have to stick by that. No, we don't have to stick by these things. They can change. There are opinions that can change. And I think at the end of the day, the success of this club is what has got to be right. If we are asking the people to change a few things here and there, then you too need to be able to be open to change. If at all you still stick and say Mauricio Pochettino is the man for the job, then make your argument, let's hear it out. And if you can convince as many of us as possible, then we'll go with your view. But as far as that is concerned, there's no point getting... Sometimes it's been a bit abusive because someone believes something different. And that is not because, oh, now I'm on this end, you all are being abusive. No, you've been abusive as well when I was on the other end. But I really think that we can accommodate our divergent views on this issue a little bit better. Yeah, it is quite something that. Now, I would love to go back to the last week's video, actually not last week, just a few days ago's video. And that's the video where I stated enough is enough. Mauricio Pochettino needs to get sacked tonight. Yes, there was a bit of anger in that one because it was raw. We had just watched the game and all of that. Am I changing my mind now? No, I still want this man out of my club as soon as possible. And yes, if anyone is going to be asking me what question that is, who gets to take over? I really still think Graham Potter is the right man for this job. And it is still out there. I don't know how we get to it, what PR they play and all of that, or if we even get to it. Again, for me, no emotions attached. We saw what this project was like and where it had gotten with Graham Potter. The pressure was crazy and all of that. Maybe now that we've seen worse than we saw under Graham Potter, and some people might say it's not even worse, but hey guys, through all of that trouble that we went with Graham Potter, we played good football. We saw what we were doing. We dominated games. We created chances and all of those kinds of things. And things just didn't work out at the top. We've changed the squad at the top and all of that stuff. Now we can still score those goals, but we are also, I'm not so sure how we are playing. We're not exactly even trying to adapt in one way or the other. I really feel that with his team back at the helm of this club, even if it is on interim basis, even if it is on probation basis or whatever kind of basis we can get to give them, yeah, that would be something. But I just wanted to take that out of the way. That is where I still stand. Let's get to look at this comment. It's the one I really wanted to feature for this video. It is something that came in from Chimuhu TV. It's quite long. I'm not so sure how we're going to deal with it, but I guess I might read it in parts and then just get to go through stuff, or maybe just let's see how it goes. So Akihumo TV came out to share a comment and stated, "I am done with Pochettino. To be frank, I was 1 foot out after I saw, I think that's what he meant, the lineup against Liverpool in the first game, and he continued to do it with Chilwell at left wing. His cowardly approach with 4 centre-backs is the most annoying thing I have seen at Chelsea. His persistence in making excuses ranging from young, height, and experience is an indictment to his coaching under pressure. Washington is just sat on the bench asking himself mad questions about Jackson, and I don't care, as he is also young, which is one of Pochettino's excuses. Why does he keep rewarding these players with minutes? What sort of example is he setting, enabling these players to suffer no consequences after every terrible performance? I find that staggering. Now, all I await is the January transfer window. If he gets his players, he better kick on and win my trust again. But if this continues, then under no circumstances should he be allowed to continue the season as Chelsea manager by the end of March, considering how Graham Potter was treated, who, in my opinion, in my own humble opinion, would have had us bowling out by now, and anyone who hounded him out must enjoy their sins now with every result. Again, for me, like the cool people say nowadays, this is a man after my heart. I think there's so many of these things that I would say, even without reading from him. Of course, the Chilwell at left wing back, it was explained in one way or the other. It was an experiment that failed, but I think that's one of the few experiments he ever tried, and that was just that. One player. Again, for me, that's the rigidity I'm talking about. It was still his formation, his systems, and all of those kinds of things. The only difference was, let me try a left back at left wing, and that was just it. When I read comments about him, that is Pochettino, being limited tactically, these decisions that he has made so far do not help that matter. I still really think that is the problem. He is limited tactically. And for a manager that has come this far in his career, but also how far has he come? I feel like this is the highest he has gotten. And this is not to disrespect PSG, but you see, PSG, and as high as a club as it is, it was much easier to win because all you had to battle was Monaco. And we also saw how much of a mess he did with that, having the players that he had. The rest of that has been Southampton, has been Tottenham, has been Espanyol. With all due respect to those clubs, this is the highest the man has come in as far as the profile of a club gets to go in recent history at least, and then what it has to go through to win. And he's making a mess of it. The man simply cannot think of any other ways to get things working. These players just they have to somehow learn how to play in his system by force, by what he wants and all of that, and never play to their strengths. And again, if at all players are going to do that, then we are going to be relying on their individual brilliance and what they can come up with, without the system to get to support them. What can he adjust within his system to be able to see that Caicedo's strengths can come to the fore? Enzo's strengths can also come to the fore in one way or the other. And Cole Palmer and whatever. Is it harder? Yes, it is. But you're paid as much as you are to play at this level because you should be able to do these things. And for me, Pochettino has shown that he's not able to do these things. Going back to some of these comments that this guy gets to make in here, height, experience, they're young, yellow cards because they are passionate about the club. Come on, man. Come on. Guys, you are out there. Would you take that kind of comment from Jose Mourinho, from Pep Guardiola? Would you take that kind of comment? Top managers that you can name, would you take that kind of comment? He notes the beat of Washington and Jackson. I am not exactly one for Washington to start playing games just yet, considering even at, was it Sao Paulo or Santos where we got him from, he wasn't exactly playing games. He had just really gotten into the side and all of that. So we're buying for the future. I don't really understand that. If he's kicking it and killing it as far as the underage teams are concerned, well and good. He can come to the first team building, see what exactly happens there and all of those kinds of things. However, the point I want to pick from Kimuhu in here is, why does a knee injury have to be the one that gives us the opportunity to see Petrovic? Having seen the blunders and just about everything that Sanchez had been doing all through the season. What are you saying to Petrovic in that kind of situation? What are we saying to Ian Matson? The man turned down a move to Burnley where he had been playing football and was bound to be doing better by continuously playing Colwill in there, even when he has been off form. What are we saying to these young players? Why are we so stubborn to just keep doing the same thing, hoping for different results? For me, these are exactly the issues that I find, very lacking as far as Pochettino is concerned right there. Jackson has had terrible games. Not just one or two or whatever. The times he has had good games, you see why you want to keep him on there. He's trying to do something and all of that. But some have been terrible. And for me, the line is thin between leaving the man out there and getting fried and leaving him out there because he's trying to learn and all of those kinds of things. We've hit the man's confidence right now. And for me, it's part of Pochettino. Leaving him out there when he's clearly struggling. Leaving him in the line of fire. Why do we have to keep doing these things? Is he a good manager? He's a decent manager. He's a decent manager and coaching young talent, all of those kinds of things. But for Chelsea Football Club, today, what we need, he has done enough. And this is no longer emotional. It is because of what he has done, what he's brought to the table, and what we continuously watch on the TV when Chelsea Football Club get to play. So yeah. Sack the man as soon as possible. The biggest challenge that I see right now is that now, from a couple of reports that we have seen, and we've seen for quite a while, he will be more involved in the January transfer window. And he will be guiding us on who we should be getting in or the profile we should be getting in and all of those kinds of things. My challenge with that is that he's already shown how poor he is as the manager for the kind of project we're trying to run at Chelsea Football Club. And here he is, he's going to contribute to the buying of some players that clearly will not, might not fit the profile of the right manager when we bring them in. Because now, in my books, it's a matter of when rather than if Pochettino leaves this role. My name is Desire Derek Ford Mugumisa. Subscribe to the channel and let us keep this community growing. I would love to continuously hear from you, have those conversations come through. And yes, some of these comments I will be sampling like we did this from Kimuhu TV, and we'll get to have those conversations going right here on Mugumisa Talks Chelsea. So keep those conversations coming. So follow me on social media, and yes, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and that way, together, we'll definitely keep the blue flag flying high.